So how did I become an internet window cleaner? So what I did was started to find out that you could buy tools off the internet, and I did a search on a search engine, window cleaning equipment, and then I started to find there was forums and also YouTube videos, and YouTube was quite infant back then, and this was another eye-opener. Revelations, new revelations came, and I started clicking on the links and watching people work, all different people, and they had not just working, but they were talking and advising what they do in terms of business, ways of working, tools that they use, modifications, that kind of thing, to improve everything to do with window cleaning. And because I was in the habit of buying new tools every couple of weeks or so, I was finding that when I buy a new tool, it was more of a toy than a tool, because each new tool that I bought, I played around with it, seeing how I could use it to better myself, improve my efficiency, because number one problem that I had was earning enough money. I was always comparing myself to other people. Now I couldn't do what other people did. I didn't have their talent in using a squeegee, and I didn't have the pricing structure. But when I was watching these, they were international window cleaners basically, because they come from all over the world, mainly the UK and America. But because they have different buildings and stuff that they worked on, it sort of gave me a bigger overview of window cleaning, because I was just mainly doing domestic work at the time. So it opened up a lot of new ideas and thoughts into what I could do with a squeegee, and how I could progress and become a better window cleaner. So when I was watching some of Wagger's videos, he's been around for at least 8 years, I was introduced to the wagtail, and I'd never seen a wagtail before, and when I first saw him using one, I thought to myself, this thing looks like you could buy it in Tesco's. It just didn't look like a proper window cleaning tool, because I was used to using solid things like this. But what I liked about the wagtail, or Wagger's wagtail, was that he modified it so it had a detailing rod, and it was used solely for pole work, not for hand work. And I always had these hard to reach windows that I just could not reach, and I wasn't a big fan of using my water-fed pole, because at that time I was just getting into water-fed pole work, and I was just finding the water-fed pole was not sufficient. So after I bought the water-fed pole, I saw what Wagger did to his modified wagtail, and I thought, I need to have one of these, because I could use what he's doing over conservatory roofs and things like that, hard to reach windows, and detail the glass without having to take the tool off, putting a cloth on, and trying my best to make the window look as good as possible. So that was what got me onto modifications and using other tools that were not the standard squeegee. So the person who influenced me the most on YouTube rarely gets mentioned by anybody. So I'll name a few, the people who really made an effect on me. One was Mark Henderson, with his tutorials of how to clean the windows, well, basically the way he did it. You had Wagger, and he was solely into talking about wagtails, and then he went on to trolley systems, making his own trolley systems. Everything was DIY with Wagger. You had window cleaner bloke, Don, the window cleaner in America, and then you had WCR, and you had the all the different series on WCR, and I was watching WCR videos. There was the Sanchez series, and I learned quite a bit from there. But there was one bloke who talked on the WCR, and it was called his series was called Tool Talk, and that was by a guy called Mark Strange. So Mark talks about all different types of tools. So let's put a few tools out so we can see them. And because he wasn't solely talking about one type of tool, he was talking about a variety of tools. This is why Mark Strange is, for me, the most influential window cleaner on YouTube. Everything he talks about, he dissected the tool. He made it very simple to understand. He could use the tool very effectively. He just broke things down, and he could talk so much better than someone like myself. He just explained things very well for a novice window cleaner to really grasp and understand. He also could do modifications, and I think over everybody, the most influential guy for me was Mark Strange, because he had the skill, the technique, the knowledge. And the knowledge is very important, because the knowledge will give you the skill. You can have skill but not have the knowledge, and if you don't have the knowledge, the real understanding, you're very limited to what you can do with a squeegee, is what I've sort of come to understand. So Mark Strange was, for me, the most fundamental window cleaner to learn about the art of using a squeegee especially, and window cleaning in general. So a big thumbs up to Mark Strange, and also a big thumbs up to all the other guys who have been very influential on YouTube. I've learned, when I was learning as a window cleaner, I learnt from everybody. But now I've got to a certain level, if I watch someone cleaning a window, or I hear someone talking about something to do with a squeegee or ways of working, then I'm afraid I'm not going to learn anything, because I've got to a certain level where I'm more knowledgeable and more, I have more skill. Just like the squeegees, there's only one squeegee that I use now, or one set of squeegees that I use, whereas when I was learning, I was using everything. And when I was learning, I was listening to what everybody was saying. But when I've got to this high level, it's just not being rude or arrogant. It's just the truth. When you've gone past everybody's knowledge and skill, and you're listening to what they're saying, then you're not going to learn, or I'm not going to learn. I just turn off, because I kind of know it all. Not that I do know it all, but I know more than anybody else who's talking or showing how to do whatever on when it comes to squeegees.